So we know our route to victory is by getting Democrats to understand that if they follow their party line, we just had the worst governor in the history of New York, Andrew Cuomo. We've had the worst mayor in the city of New York, Bill de Blasio. Everywhere he goes, he gets booed, and people flip him off and give him the finger. All people, black, white, Hispanic, Asian. He's taken a Miley Cyrus wrecking ball to this city that we love. And yet, who embraced de Blasio, and who did de Blasio embrace? Eric Adams.
That's right.
Who embraced Cuomo, and who did Cuomo embrace? Eric Adams. So if you're just going to go the traditional route and say, well, Eric Adams is a Democrat, I'm going to vote for him. It's Cuomo de Blasio 2.0. You're just going to get more of the same. If you're a Democrat and you want relief from the problems that plague this city, you vote for the populist. You vote for Curtis Sliwa, because I've always been there for the people. Where I started, in the Fordham Road section of the Bronx, with the beginning of the Guardian Angels, mostly black and Hispanic, to this day. And in analyzing who might become the next police commissioner of the city of New York when I'm mayor, haven't you noticed that when de Blasio was making his choices, and now that Eric Adams is considering making his choices if he's elected, I haven't heard the name of one Latino or one Latina in consideration. They are the majority minority in the police department now. Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, Central Americans. They're never considered for promotion. De Blasio never considered them. Eric Adams hasn't mentioned one of them. And when Curtis Sliwa is mayor, they will get a priority of consideration, because they will be the majority of the police department in this city and the majority of the population soon. We are no longer taking Latinos and Latinas for granted, as so many administrations have. So understand this. Go the typical route. Vote for the typical Democrat. And you got a guy who's getting wine dined in pocket line. Look at Eric Adams now. All the realty people behind him, the hedge fund monsters, the developers. Does that represent the people? Isn't it an odd, strange turn of events that he's in nightclubs at night, he's getting wine dined pocket line in the Hamptons. He's down in Martha's Vineyard. He went to vacation in Monaco. Who the hell goes to Monaco but the rich, the famous, and elite? And who's down in the streets and the subways like I've always been? Curtis Sliwa. I don't take money from real estate interests, hedge fund monsters, or developers, because their interests are not for the people. That's why you elect the populists. I happen to have won the Republican line. And remember, my opponent, Dominicano, Fernando Mateo, remember? He spent $2 million in the last 2 weeks. Because I had bupkis, I had nothing. I had, as we say in Italian, ugats to spend. And he ran advertisements. Curtis Lee was no Republican. He's an ever-Trumper. I still won the Republican primary 70 to 30%. They said I had no chance to win. And now they say the same thing. I'm a person of no consequence. Let me tell all of the pundits out there, I've been shot, stabbed, beaten in the streets of New York City, locked up 76 times. I know what it's like to be on the inside looking out and the outside looking in. Don't diminish me. Don't say I have no chance. I've been David versus Goliath from day one in my entire life, but always in that struggle, in the fight for right to protect victims, to protect the elderly, the women, the children, and the infirm. The odds have always been stacked against me. Imagine creating an organization that does not carry guns or any weapons, as Carmen Quinona said. And you have Eric Adams every chance that he gets talking about, well, you know, when I'm mayor, I'm going to carry my 9. You know, I wore a bulletproof vest and carried a gun for 22 years. I'm like, really? You're going to carry a gun as mayor? Are you out of your mind? This is Curtis Sliwa, shot 5 times on the orders of Gotti Sr. to Gotti Jr. and the Gambino crime family. Offered a carry permit by the NYPD. And I said, I can't, and I won't. I gotta set the role model. It's do as I say and do as I do. I will not carry a gun. The day that I am afraid to walk the streets or ride the subways in New York City, it's time for me to retire in the 6th borough of the city of New York, Boca Raton in Florida, or get a job hanging wallpaper. If I'm gonna walk up to young men and try to convince them to put their guns down, their phallic symbol, their symbol of power over the community, you think they're going to listen to Eric Adams, who says, well, you know, Intel says that there have been threats against me, so I got to put on my bulletproof vest and carry my 9. They're going to say, let me tell you what street intel tells me, Sliwa. The Crips got a contract on me, and I need this 9 to protect myself. And then they'll say to me, you a veteran, you a legend, Sliwa. Let me see your bullet holes. And I say to them, wait a second. You consider that a sign of manhood? To have been shot? No. The idea is not to get shot. The idea is not to pick up guns. The idea is not to shoot anybody. The idea is to exercise that muscle between both your ears through education, through self-esteem, self-responsibility. You too can be a role model, even if you've been a criminal, even if you've been a violent predator, even if you've been an enemy of society. But a mayor is going to have to lead by example. Eric Adams, shame on you for always talking about how you're going to carry a gun and possibly have to wear a bulletproof vest. And by the way, when I become mayor, the NYPD security force that de Blasio, Eric Adams' friend, has abused to the max, I won't have any cops shadowing me. I don't need their security. They defunded the police. We need those police in the streets defending all of you, not the mayor of New York City. Thanks for coming today, the inaugural day of Democrats for Sliwa. Time is running out. The debates are next week on the 20th and 26th. I'm taking it to them, early voting, and then naturally election day itself, November 2nd. And I'm telling you, we are going to shock the world with the number of people of color from the inner city, from public housing, from the tenements, who are going to remember 42 years Curtis Sliwa was with us. He was there. Where was Eric Adams? Well, we know where he is now, the Hamptons. Monaco. Who the hell goes to Monaco? Think about that. Thank you very much for coming today. Thank you. So join our effort, whether you're Democrats for Sliwa, Independents for Sliwa, Republicans for Sliwa. It's going to take all of us coming together in order to save our city. Thank you.
But you think you're going to get people who've left to come back? That ain't happening.
I said, listen, because a lot of New Yorkers that I know, they really love New York.
Yes.
And if it's going to be any changes, they will be back because New York.
Yeah, well, they might have a second
York.
apartment here in New York. That's great. But to think that they're all going to move back, they've made this decision and they've thought it out well, and we wish them well. But we got to recover our city.
Yeah, you have to. You have to. Yes. I'd like to have you. Thank you.
Vaccine mandates.
Yeah.
Are you going to comply with them, or are you going to stop them from doing this to us?
Well,
This is
look,
genocide. A lot of
if
people
you
are
look,
alerted
if you
to
just look at the teachers, unfortunately, you have different civil service groups. So you have teachers, they've been told you must be vaccinated.
Right.
Why? If they're not vaccinated by choice, by religious belief, by medical condition, they could be tested once a week, like police, like some of the other cities. That's fair, because you should be tested if you're not vaccinated.
But mandating it is not fair.
Well, what it is it's squeezing one group but not another group. You're not doing it equitably.
So I just want to know what attracts you to Curtis Sliwa, and why would you vote for him? Why do you want to vote for him?
Well, what attracts me is that de Blasio has done a horrible job these years. And the way that they're mandating and telling you what to do and what to say and suppressing your freedom, it's not right to me because we live in a free country. And this communist trend that they're bringing to America, Democrats, it has to come to an end because we believe in freedom and everybody comes to this country for freedom.
What is your take on vaccine mandates and restaurants mandating vaccines?
I think it's unconstitutional, it's against our rights, and it's not correct for you to ask me about my medical problems because you're not going to help me pay them. If I get injured by a vaccine, which a lot of people have gotten injured, they don't talk about that. They keep it to themselves because it's a business for them. Killing people and keeping you controlled and sick.
Now, are you a Latino for Trump or?
I am a Latina.
Latina, I'm sorry, Latina.
I'm a Latina and I voted for Trump. I believe in freedom. I don't care what nobody says. My ideology is freedom. Freedom. Because the reason why everybody comes here is for freedom.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Come back, we need you. Come back before that.
Yeah, let me give you my card. Here you go.
Sir, thank you for your lifetime service. I really appreciate it. May I have one of your cards? Thank you. You have my vote. You have my vote.
Bluetooth disconnected.